Okay, so if the title hasn't updated, it basically says my first attempts at a read-along thing. Yes, I'm gonna do that. I will stream share, or not stream share, but I will show my screen. Hold on a second, there. Be easier to see on the eyes. It's gonna be a wuxia genre. The genre is gonna be wuxia. If you don't really like those, that's sorry, but it's what I like. Oh, okay, that's how. Okay, now I know. So in the meantime, I'm gonna do Chrome over that. Hold on a second. Need to fit the screen. That is if it loads. Fit the screen. There we are. So there's that. I should probably not keep it there immediately. Nor do that. Alright. Now what am I doing? I needed to... I was gonna try and set everything up. That's right. So I need to add a text. Oh my god, it's massive as usual. It's annoying. Fit screen. I hate how it shows my mouse movements. That's because I don't have a second screen. Okay, so I need... I'm actually gonna add another view. I should have done this beforehand, but it's the first time in a while I'm using my voice, so I might as well make the best of it. My very, very unoriginal sounding voice. So, what am I gonna call this one? That works. Sorry about that. Well, that's interesting. Oh, it's just a little bit off. Oh, if only I didn't have the green barrier, I'd be able to... Wow, that's really slow to update, isn't it? How's that looking? It's a bit off. That's not what I wanted to click. Nor is that one. No, it's not. Oh my gosh, I don't know which direction I'm supposed to move the cursor in order to make it fit that. So I just have to keep trial and erroring. You know what? I wish I could figure out what hex code they're using for the background. I think I found it. FF253. That's not it in the slightest. Got it. If I can figure out where it is, I can get that hex code and get it over and done with. Footnotes. Oh no, I just keep finding more because of that. Alright, that's not what I'm looking for then. Got a spam click. Okay. I found the icons. That's for that sidebar, I do believe. Yep, it says navbar. really wish I knew JavaScript better than this. Yes, I was looking into that. Don't worry about it. I'm mega incompetent at it, so I wouldn't know how to do any of it. Just as I... Yeah, don't worry about the little bit clipping. I already know what it's about. Okay, I can't find it. Whatever. Looks like I know which one I'm using. Okay. I'm using the same as that top bar up there, so that's that. Sorry about that. Dang it, I don't want solid numbers. Come on. Work with me here. Sorry this is taking so long. I plan to do this in the future, so I would like at least some presets made if I do indeed do so. How's that looking? Pretty pristine. Alright, so it's going to block up this area. Sorry in advance for that. But it's better than nothing. Excuse me. Right. Because it's overwhelmingly stupid. Hate this stuff. Hate it. Really peeves me. Like, I don't understand how text is supposed to work on this thing. It's so annoying. If I put in an R, currently, if that doesn't screw up, of course, it's now really tiny. Nani? I don't understand this, man. I really don't. Okay, so probably do that in reverse. How's that looking? Hold on a second, let me check for my phone because that's the only good thing I have. And then mute it so there's no audio feedback. Yeah, that works. For longer names, it's really not, because I'm going to have to change the entire size, but who cares? Move that over there, too. Not like anyone's really going to be watching, but it'd be good to have it that way, I guess. And you're good. I'm going to close that. And I just realized how awkward most of these things are going to be to say. Well, I dug myself into this mess. I gotta go through with it. Alright, whatever. I'm gonna mute myself so I can close the door. Be right back. Really quickly, I'm also gonna do tests, really simple ones. That's gonna be awkward. I'm tempted to bring that bar on the side all the way down just to make it clearer, but that just seems wrong. Also, if you want to know, I usually read on something like this, but I'm not going to, because that'd make it harder for everyone else to read. Not that I think anyone's doing that. Yeah. I tested that, and now I'm going to test the audio for most people, at least on my phone. So I'll be back. I'm at halfway volume, and it works, so whatever, I'm happy. I can sound chipper, if you guys want that. Not that it probably makes too much of a difference. Yeah. My internal self-esteem is dying looking at this first sentence. So, whatever, might as well. Doing 10 chapters. Alright. Ba ba. No. Ba 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 ba. I'm not gonna do the full sounds. Don't get me on that one. The cries of the young shepherd's sheep echoed across the usually tranquil mountain range. I shouldn't talk like you guys are stupid too. This is gonna be a large read. Well, better get to it. Leaky crawled to the top of a cliff with the cold night's breeze violently blowing against his body. His body was currently drenched in perspiration. At 13 years of age, a little boy like Leaky was using all of his might to climb this mountain range. This scene in the night sky would give a macabre sensation to anyone, to just about anyone. I'm so sorry about this. Oh my god, I'm already regretting it. I can't even pronounce most of the words right because I'm reading out loud. Whatever. Although the night was quiet, Li Qi's mind was being tormented by a flame of uncertainty. Coming from a poor family, his parents were both peasants. At the age of 7, he began his life as a shepherd. His family name was Li. His name was Li Qi because he cried for 7 days and 7 nights after birth. Qi means 7 nights, by the way. So his last name is literally this. Today he had completed his daily tasks. However, during the approach of dawn, he noticed that he was missing his leading sheep. While filled with worry, he rushed back to the mountain range to search for it. After seemingly scouring the entire mountain range, he still couldn't find even a shadow of this sheep. Thinking about the missing sheep and its evil owner, Zheng Dahu, Li Qi feared for the worst in his heart. Suddenly, Li Qi thought of one place where the sheep might be. There was only one location he didn't search: the Immortal Demon Grotto. Reminder, this is a Wuxia novel, as that states. So this is got a lot of words pertaining to specifically that line. A lot of Immortal Demon Grotto stuff. Buddhist and cultivation. So, yeah, it's gonna be a weird book for a while. Trust me on that. It gets even worse when you get to this point. Sorry for that yawn. As I looked towards the Immortal Demon Grotto before him, he noticed that the mountain range in the dark night resembled a fierce beast from the ancient desolate era, its mouth appearing to be gaping, hungering for human flesh. Hearing the howls of the wolves resound from all around him, he couldn't help but shiver in fear. That pause was bad. I need to really fix myself when I'm doing this. The Immortal Demon Grotto was considered a cursed land in the surrounding area. Legend states that an evil demon presides over this location. A demon who constantly instantly consumed any trespassers. No one had ever made it out of the cave alive. At this moment, the sound of Zheng Dahu's whip reverberated in Li Qi's ears. If Li Qi truly lost the sheep, then Zheng Dahu would definitely whip his flesh to tatters. Having reached this point, Li Qi gritted his teeth and approached the cave. His body disappeared into the night. I'm not making that noise. The calm night was interrupted by a young boy's mutual scream. Li Qi's frightened voice rang out once again. You, what do you want? Suddenly the scream came to an end. An unknown amount of time later, at the depths of the Immortal Demon Grotto, the silence was broken by a menacing voice. Good, good, good. My mortal dark crow has finally been complete. Since only soul was missing, today, I will conveniently borrow your soul for a bit. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Yeah. A moment later, as each flap loudly resounded, a strange dark crow flew away from the Immortal Demon Grotto. Fly, fly, fly. I will use your soul to find all the hidden burials. Fly all across all the lands. As long as the 9 worlds exist, I will find you again. From the depths of the Immortal Demon Grotto, the heavy voice came out once again and lingered in the air. From then on, throughout this heaven and earth, a dark crow flew across the plains, from heavenly cities to the most dangerous reaches and secret areas. It flew without a free will straight into the 9 worlds for eras on end. As time passed, millions of years came and went. A new peerless master would rise as another fell. Slowly, the crow would disappear, only to reappear later on. It wanted to escape its master. It wanted to find a purpose to its life. From the alchemy god to the immortal Emperor Fei, immortal Emperor Zhu to immortal Emperor Min Ren, immortal Emperor Tunri, to Immortal Emperor Bingyu, all the way up until the Black Dragon King. Each of these paragons lies the shadow of a crow, one that struggled to find freedom. As these strongest beings came and went, the crow continued to mysteriously appear throughout the river of time. The crow was now willing to have his fate controlled. He wanted to oppose the most frightening character in this world. And now, millions of years had gone by, with the passing of many eras. Oh god, my throat's already hating this. Sorry. Li Qi, who was floating in a river, was suddenly dragged up by a person. Ah! Ah! As he was being dragged out, Li Qi suddenly woke up. His first reaction was to jump, as he was unfamiliar with his own body. Unable to find his footing, he almost fell down to the ground. Ah! My body! Looking down and seeing his body had stayed the same, Li Qi was both ecstatic and scared. Even after thousands of struggles while fighting against the unending waves and winds, Dark Crow Li Qi still couldn't contain his emotions after regaining his body. Taking a deep breath, he lifted his head and found that an old man was in front of him. This old man It is this old man who saved you from your impending doom. The old man loudly laughed in an inglorious manner, revealing his 3 remaining yellow teeth. His demeanor made others feel that his smile was very sinister. Up the stream, Li Qi could see the dim structure of the immortal demon grotto. His eyes becoming increasingly cold, and his aura exceeded anything that a 13-year-old child could exude. Li Qi took a deep breath and stared at the old man. After a while, he eventually asked, "How should I address you, old man?" "Cleansing incense, ancient sect, old devil." The old man answered with his mouth agape, still revealing his 3 golden teeth while smiling and spitting everywhere. I almost went to the other guy's voice, even though I'm not good at making different voices. "Cleansing incense, ancient sect," Li Qi whispered under his breath. The name made him recall the sealed memories in his mind. These memories were made from a time when he was still imprisoned in the body of the Dark Crow. Li Qi regained his composure and asked the old man, "Right now, who has the heaven's will?" The old man was still smiling as he replied, "Heaven's will, eh? Right now, no one in this era has been able to shoulder the heaven's will." "Where's Mortal Emperor Ta Kong?" After hearing the old man's response, Li Qi's demeanor darkened. How long had he been asleep for? Over 100,000 years? Immortal Emperor Ta Kong has been missing for 30,000 years. Li Qi inquired the old man once more. "What about the Black Dragon King of the Heaven Protector Palace?" "No one knows. The Black Dragon King went missing at the same time as Immortal Emperor Ta Kong." Ta Kong. Yeah. Old Devil shook his head. Hearing this, Li Qi's expression drastically changed. He looked back at the immortal demon grotto again and finally understood why he had regained his body. "Let us go," with a sudden expression. Li Qi turned around and started to walk away. He didn't care if Old Devil was following him or not. After experiencing pseudo-immortality, he knew exactly what he had to do. God, I'm tired. Not exactly, I'm just yawning, but still. The Mortal Protector Palace was an incredibly powerful lineage in the current times. Back in the era when the Black Dragon King, a peerless master, was still alive, no one could match him across the 9 worlds. He was respected for 3 whole generations. Even though he had been missing for 30,000 years, the Heaven Protector Palace still stood arrogantly in this domain. At this moment, a young boy around the age of 13 and a lonely old man with 3 golden teeth were standing outside the Heaven Protector Palace. Just beyond the perimeter of the palace outer city, Li Qi burned ceremonial manual whispering, Little black dragon, you don't have to worry. You have helped me regain my body, my life. One day I will destroy the evil land to seek revenge for you. After the ceremony was over, Li Qi stared into the Heaven Protector Palace in front of him. The scene was still the same, but the people were no longer there. Everything had become foreign. He reminisced about the old days with the little black dragon. The memory of them building the city from the ground up through their efforts was fresh in his mind. Unfortunately, after 30,000 years, not many remembered the dark crow hidden behind the curtains. Heh. Oof. Heh. Let us go back to the cleansing incense ancient sect. At this time, the old man glanced at Li Qi and stated his purpose while revealing his 3 shiny golden teeth. Let us go. Li Qi calmly nodded his head. No matter how illustrious or mysterious this old man might be, his origin could not surprise Li Qi. Li Qi had experienced countless difficulties, and his soul had been trapped inside the Dark Crow for millions of years. Era after era, he walked shoulder to shoulder amongst immortal emperors, became friends with the alchemy god. So what could actually surprise him? As they were leaving, an extremely elegant and beautiful girl stepped out of the palace. She resembled an angel from heaven, an otherworldly goddess. The moment she stepped out, she inadvertently noticed the remains of a fire from the ceremony, as well as mysterious symbols beside it. After seeing these symbols, her expression greatly changed. Who was having a ceremony just now? An old servant nearby immediately went around to look for information and came back with results. The city guards say that an old man and a young boy around the age of 13 were here just now. They were burning ceremonial money. The girl issued her command. Give chase and find them immediately. Your Highness is supposed to go to God's mountain right now. The old servant hesitantly whimpered. The goddess softly yelled, "Find them!" Her body then disappeared as she flew across space to find the two. In the end, she was unable to find them. She dejectedly returned to the palace after her search. The symbols beside the fire remained in her head. These symbols hadn't appeared for a long time. So why was it that they appeared in the outskirts after tens of thousands of years? Were they friends or foes? An old loyal servant reported, "Your Highness, we couldn't find the people who were burning the ceremonial money." The goddess commanded with a serious demeanor, "Order everyone to keep in mind that if any news about those two people show up, immediately report back to me." The servant was extremely surprised to hear this. The current power of the Heaven Protector Palace, and the reputation of their goddess, it would be rare to see her show such a serious expression. Sorry, that alliteration killed me. The servant asked, "Then what about the trip to God's mountain?" "Cancel it," the goddess exclaimed. "I have to read the ancient books that the ancestors left behind. Something strange is happening." She then immediately went to the deepest parts of the forbidden grounds in the Heaven Protector Palace. The cleansing ancient sect resided in the nation of the Heavenly Jewel Kingdom. This sect was an immortal emperor lineage with a long history. Let me restart that paragraph. The cleansing ancient sect resided in the nation of the Heavenly Jewel Kingdom. This sect was an immortal emperor lineage with a long history. At the beginning of the emperor's era, immortal Emperor Minren proudly stood at the peak and established a sect, naming it Cleansing Incense. Fortunately, after millions of years, it could not withstand the tests of time and its unforgiving nature. The sect was no longer of the immortal emperor rank and could no longer rule the land like in the past. No matter how hard it tried, it could neither regain their ancient glory nor prevent their unrelenting and slow demise. "Elder, I have bad news. A mortal said he wants us to accept him as the prime disciple." Let me redo that. I want to change my tone. Elder, I have bad news. Immortal said he wants us to accept him as a prime disciple. A disciple hurriedly reported to the first elder of the cleansing ancient sect as this elder was stepping outside. Kick him off the mountain. Without giving the disciple a glance, the first elder continued, Why would you even report something so ridiculous? Mortal wanting to become the prime disciple of your sect? What a joke. Prime disciple was the same as the sect master's protege, the one with the highest chance of becoming the future sect master. Of course, when the sect master wasn't present, the first elder would still personally take care of these matters. The disciple stuttered, but he was recommended by Old Devil. Raising his eyebrow, the first elder unhappily repeated, Old Devil? Was he bribed by liquor? Is that why he's recommending a mortal? Old Devil belonged to the sect, but the sect did not want to recognize this geezer. Although the name sounded heroic, this old man caused the sect to lose all face. The Old Devil had 3 good qualities to him. He was good at spending money, lying, fooling around in brothels. This is why they called him Old Devil. He had not cultivated any methods to the end, but he did have a very shocking background within the sect. Rumor has it when he was a bastard child of the previous sect master. This is why when the sect master passed away, he asked for the current sect master to take care of Old Devil. However, there's another rumor stating that Old Devil was a bastard from the sect master 2 generations ago, because the previous sect master owed this person a great favor. He had no choice but to accept this piece of trash and unwillingly took care of Old Devil. Before the previous sect master passed away, he also asked the current sect master to take care of Old Devil. No matter who his father was, the whole sect and its upper echelons had no love for this old man. They detested the unflattering words regarding Old Devil's character and didn't care about the rumors in the world. From the elders to the lowest ranking disciples, the entire sect did not welcome this old man without any cultivation. The first elder yelled out in annoyance, So what if it's Old Devil's recommendation? Kick the mortal off the mountain. His morning and good mood had been ruined by this event. But he has the cleansing incense ancient order from the Old Devil. The disciple stuttered, once again out of fear. Cleansing incense ancient order? That's such a mouthful. After hearing these words, the first elder's expression darkened. After quietly contemplating the situation, he quickly ordered, Gather all the elders and tell the immortal to wait outside of the grand chamber. Cleansing ancient sect had a total of 6 elders. After hearing the 4 words, CIAO, the others 5 quickly came to the meeting. The patriarch of the sect was immortal Min Ren. Because I failed to say immortal Emperor Min Ren. The one who left behind 3 of these orders. 2 had been reclaimed by the sect, but the 3rd one fell in the hands of the Old Devil. Outside the request from the previous sect master to take care of the Old Devil, the second reason why the elders were helpless against him is because he possessed the last order. The order represented immortal Emperor Min Ren. The holder could request anything from the cleansing incense ancient sect. Sitting in the grand chamber of the cleansing incense ancient sect, while staring at an elusive statue covering gold smoke, Li Qi couldn't help but recall many stories of the past. The statue of immortal... I'm just going to say Min Ren. I'm not going to say immortal emperor unless it's the first time they're being introduced. Or like the 5th. Min Ren stood strong at the highest point of this location. Although many years had passed, the statue had still carried an ancient aura seemingly capable of piercing the 9 heavens. Spectators couldn't help but worship the statue. It was as if the emperor was actually in front of them. Li Qi did not know how to describe his feelings as he stared at the statue. The emperor was gone, but Li Qi was alive, and forever will be. Although he had achieved his goal and regained his body, all of his old acquaintances had slowly disappeared in the river of time. God, sucked. That was probably one of the longer chapters for now. Yeah, it's... Oh. I'm only gonna go to 5. I can't do 5 more than that. Now, Li Qi recalled that when the ancient Ming era was coming to an end, and the Emperor's era began, his soul was still trapped in the body of the Dark Crow. And now, he was in this new era. An era where he temporarily regained his sanity and control of himself from the immortal Demon Grotto after an eternity of struggle. When he first met Min-Ren was just a little boy who was in love with martial arts, someone who had no knowledge of the grand cultivational world. The time between now and when he led Min-Ren into the cultivation world was already many years ago. Many generations of experts had appeared and disappeared within the mysterious ocean of time. Inadvertently, looking at the obsidian-colored wooden stick next to the altar below the statue, Li Qi couldn't help but slightly chuckle at the sight of it. He couldn't believe that the stick still existed after so many years. In the past, he had made great use of it and disciplined that group of energetic children, including the immortal Emperor, until they cried for their fathers and mothers. I should have not said it that way. Oh well. At this moment, the 6 elders from the Cleansing Incense Ancient sect had all been gathered. Even though they were old, their blood energies were still as apparent as rainbows with bright lights surrounding their body. Even though the Cleansing Incense Ancient sect had declined, it was still an immortal emperor lineage. If the elders accepted titles from the Heavenly Jewel Kingdom, they would all be named heroes. At this moment, the sharp gazes of the 6 elders were fixated on Li Qi, as if they intended to uncover his secrets. However, Li Qi remained calm and quietly sat in this uncomfortable atmosphere. Eventually, the first elder gravely inquired, "Where is the Cleansing Incense Ancient Order?" The order was extremely important because it was an object left behind by their founding immortal emperor. Li Qi slowly opened his palm to reveal the ancient order. He was surprised when Old Devil took him to the town below the Sex Mountain and then ran off to a brothel. Before leaving, he casually threw the order into Li Qi's hand. It was unbelievable that a person like this old man would have an ancient order. In the past, when Li Qi was trapped inside the Dark Crow, and when Min-Ren shouldered the Heaven's Will, he gave the 3 ancient orders to Li Qi. Later on, Li Qi then gave these orders to different people. After millions of years, Li Qi nostalgically stared at the order in his hands. In the past, he did not need them, but today, he had no choice but to rely on its authority. 6 elders passed around the order and carefully examined it to confirm it was indeed authentic. Truth was that the sect had wanted to reclaim the order for a long time, but they did not have a way to force it from Old Devil's hands. Old Devil knew that the order was equivalent to another life, thus he held on to it with his dear life. Who would have predicted that it would fall into the hands of a mortal without any reputation? First elder coldly asked, "Where is Old Devil?" In reality, the first elder harbored no love for Old Devil, a person who could only spend money, lie, and play with women. To him, it did not matter if Old Devil was the son of a previous sect master or not. Li Qi calmly answered. He went to Kui Hong Brothel. I think that's how it's said. Shadows could be seen on the 6 elders' faces, even though they didn't like Old Devil. The thought of someone from their honorable sect visiting the most famous and popular brothel within a 1,000-mile radius was a great source of shame. And it wasn't like it was his first time visiting this brothel either. The elders had pent-up anger and didn't know how to release it. They could only hope that such a notorious player wouldn't be part of the sect in the future. A different elder loudly asked, "What is your demand?" They didn't know the method Li Qi employed to obtain it, but the truth was that the order in front of him was definitely not fake. Li Qi slowly responded, I heard that the prime disciple position of the sect is still unoccupied. Since Old Devil firmly recommended me due to my talents, I have no choice but to ask for this position. After hearing his answers, the 6 elders started to curse Old Devil. That goddamn bastard. What rights did he have to recommend someone to become the prime disciple of their sect? It is an extremely important position, so the sect had to carefully select the right individual. Otherwise, this spot would have already been occupied. The elder spoke with a cold voice. Don't treat the prime disciple position as a joke. I know, Li Qi calmly and slowly enunciated his words without fear. However, the person who carries the order has the right to demand any request. This was a rule established by Immortal Emperor Minren. The first elder interjected with a threatening question. What if you use an underhanded method to obtain this order? This position wasn't something that could be joked about or given out without a thought. Li Qi replied in a domineering manner. I understand. Others fear that I might have used dishonest means to force the order from the hands of Old Devil. Since you 6 do not trust me, you can send people to Kuihyang brothel for confirmation. Deep in their hearts, the elders cried in pain every time they heard the name Kuihyang brothel. In the end, they had no choice but to send their disciples to confirm what Li Qi had said. A moment later, a disciple confirmed that Li Qi's words were true. The disciple tried his best to leave out any information regarding Old Devil's joyful and debaucherous situations with the girls right now. Otherwise, the elders might have gone crazy. Unwilling as they may be, the elders had to follow the rules given to them by the patriarch. Even if the cleansing ancient sect has fallen, their lineage was still that of immortal emperors. Thus, they could not dishonor the reputation left behind their ancestors. Ultimately, the elders issued a command. Bring out the truth mirror. The truth mirror shone on Li Qi's body. Any mortal who wanted to join the sect for cultivation purposes had to be judged by this type of mirror. It tested for one's physique, life will, and fate palace. Within the mirror, Li Qi's reflection appeared. It was a hazy, unstable shadow that seemed to be in it. It seemed as if it would disappear at a moment's notice. Behind this reflection's head, an elusive blood halo appeared. This halo was a dim light. Above this halo was a dim light. Both were extremely feeble. Immortal physique, immortal life will. This in his destiny shows he has an immortal fate palace. Disciple reported the truth mirror's findings on Li Qi's innate talents and physical conditions. Every person had a physique, life will, and fate palace. The physique also directly affected one's physical strength. The life wheel indicated one's longevity, and the fate palace showed one innate talent for cultivation. Li Qi's mortal physique and mortal life will and mortal fate palace silenced the elders. He was the most average among men. The sect could go outside and grab any commoner from the streets. They would have the same talents. If you want to become the prime disciple of the cleansing ancient sects, then forget about king and saint physiques. At the very least, you should have a Xian Tian physique. Your life will should also has to be around the same level. Your abilities are not fit for the position. First elder directly rejected Li Qi. I'm aware of my talents. He didn't want to think too much about it, and spoke casually. But I still want to be the prime disciple. You? The elders were extremely advocated by the words. This person was not qualified to even become a normal disciple, let alone the prime disciple. This was one of the most unreasonable requests they had ever heard. Excuse me a moment. I need to drink water, but I don't have any on hand, so this sucks. I'll just have to make do for this chapter. I trust the descendants of the immortal emperor would neither go back on their words nor violate the ancestral rule and bring shame to the sect and lineage. Li Qi played around with the order in his hands and slowly continued. If this order were to fall in another's hands, the result would be unimaginable. Hearing this, the expressions of the 6 elders froze. First elder gazed at him and coldly retorted, "Even if such a thing happened, anyone who wants to become the prime disciple of Vertes has to be tested in all aspects." This ranged from their origin to their background as well as their prime innate talent. I don't know why I said prime there, sorry. After all, the sect will not allow an unqualified candidate to take the position. That is your problem. Li Qi stared at the 6 elders and said, "If you think another sect sent me to steal your immortal emperor's heritage, then let me tell you that I would not need to become the prime disciple. Due to this virtuous order, I can just ask for them. There would be no need to bother becoming the prime disciple. You should know this better than myself. If I wanted to harm the sect, it would not be a difficult feat with this order." Li Qi's words made the elders glance at each other. Even though they were a bit ambivalent, they didn't entirely trust Li Qi. He's not exactly without reason. Elder Cow, one of the 6 elders, slowly responded. "The order keeps wandering around the outside. Wouldn't it be a hidden danger to us? We cannot refuse anyone with the order, so we might as well accept its request." First elder coldly replied, "This matter cannot be taken lightly." Another elder mused. "From the past till now, the prime disciple has always been the disciple directly under the sect master. Although whether we accept his request or not, either way, we must first ask for the sect master's opinion regarding the master. Regarding the decision, they make the choice afterwards. This makes sense. In the end, the prime disciple would be the direct disciple of the sect master." The remaining elders agreed. After the sect master finished the debating, the first elder immediately commanded, "Send a letter to the sect master." The letter was sent to the sect master Su Yonghuang, and the 6 elders received a reply very quickly. To their surprise, the reply was that the sect master actually allowed for Li Qi to become the prime disciple. First elder read the letter 3 times and confirmed he didn't misread. So he angrily yelled, "Truly unbelievable! Sect master is being too rash." Elder Cow persuaded with words, "Brother Gu, if the sect master has agreed, then why are we still debating? In the end, the prime disciple is still the direct disciple of the sect master, so the choice is in the sect master's hand." "The sect master being too rash. Ah." Another elder shook his head and sighed. Elder Cow forcefully smiled. "So be it. We have no other choice. Ultimately, if we can recover the order, then we will have done a great service to the sect." Right. Yeah. Alright, in the meantime, I'm going to quickly check up the pronunciation of 3 things. Yes, I'm going to Google Translate. Do not judge me.
苏永煌
Huang. Okay. Xiu Yong Huang. Right. Yeah, Young Huang.
CAO
Wow.
So Oh
So, I have to go with that. Sucks, but whatever.
Cui Hong
Sui Hong. Okay. Sui Hong. Got it. Sui Hong. I don't even think I'm gonna be able to do 5. It kinda sucks, honestly. Alright. I'm gonna finish this one, and then I'm done for the night. This stream's over and done with. I need to finish it off. And then I'm going to upload this one to YouTube and the other VOD I have from the other day. I'm gonna upload that one first because I need to edit it a bit. And chronologically, yeah. Though, I will say this now. If you're making it to this point, congrats. I don't know how you managed to survive my monotonous voice and my lack of personality in most forms. But I will ask this. Do you think what I removed was worthy for that one block of obsidian, not obsidian, the one bedrock block that I removed? That and having to use creative mode to stupidly get the right position to throw an ender pearl to get through bedrock of all things. I gotta be honest, that still pisses me off. But you guys get the point. Alright. Back to chapter 3. The Cleansing Incense Ancient Sect. That's a mouthful of a story. The first elder, while very discontent, still managed to grunt a response. 3 days later, after honoring the ancestors, you will formally become the prime disciple of our sect. Li Qi was still sitting there, casually, without a trace of surprise. He only chuckled out loud. Me becoming the prime disciple should warrant a weapon or two for my personal safety, right? All the elders were surprised to see how comfortable he was under this heavy atmosphere. In the end, the boy was only 13 years old, but his calm demeanor resembled that of a tyrant's that dominated one sphere with everything under his control. How could a mortal like him have such courageous spirit? The first elder took a glance at Li Qi and shook his head while telling him, "Although we accepted you as a prime disciple, we can only give you a normal weapon. If you desire a formidable weapon or an immortal emperor merit law, you will have to contribute to the sect." Sec? I'm going to Google Translate. Hold on a second.
Sect.
Sect. Okay. It's kind of annoying, but alright. Li Qi only smirked. Sorry, I was right here. His goal was certainly not an immortal emperor merit law or any imperialist technique. His trim was a black wooden stick lying on the pedestal. While averting his gaze to the stick, Li pressed on. "Fine, I want that wooden stick." That wooden stick? The 6 elders bought. He's shook in surprise. The stick was only used for gathering the ashes after ceremonial burning to honor the ancestors. It's always been there, and no one had any interest in it. The elders thought the Li Qi would ask for treasures using a new status, but he simply wanted a wooden stick. This request was out of their expectations. Li Qi spoke in an unrestrained manner. "Since I am a prime disciple, my position is worthy of respect. The stick belongs to the Grand Chamber, and this is the ancestral Grand Chamber of the Ancient Sect. It represents the power of the Cleansing Incense Ancient Sect, so it is worthy of my position as prime disciple." After hearing Li Qi's logic, the 6 elders looked at each other with their eyes wide open. They thought to themselves, this idiotic brat and that goddamned playboy old devil definitely belong together. Just like how an ox seeks another ox, while a horse would find another horse. Stupid people, in the footnote, stupid people will come together would be the meaning here. So birds of a feather flock together. "So be it. We shall bestow the stick upon you." The first elder was happy to give this worthless stick to Li Qi if it meant that he didn't have to hear any more of Li Qi's incessant babbling. To him, the stick was only a regular wooden stick meant to move the ashes. They might as well give it to Li Qi. Many thanks to honorable elders. Li Qi was eagerly waiting for these words. Before his words finished coming out of his mouth, his hands were already on the stick. This action, in the eyes of the elders, was seen as being very naive. Oh my god, I don't even know how to pronounce that one. Huaniren? Sorry, I don't like having to do this, but...
Huairen.
Huiren? Alright. I should have figured that, actually. Huiren. Alright. Huiren, take him to the resting quarters. An elder finally became impatient and told the nearby disciples to send Li Qi away. Today's events had greatly stressed the elders. A wastrel had become the prime disciple of the cleansing incense ancient sect. Even if the sect had long past its glory days, it was not destitute enough to accept a waste of a human being as a prime disciple. Led by the disciple, Li Qi approached a solitary peak. It was not small. On top of it lay a small villa the size of 36,000 square meters, which is not a small villa. It was apparent that the villa had been abandoned for a long time due to the weeds, the wild plants that surrounded it. Although this peak was far from everything, it was still part of the cleansing incense sect. After opening the doors, the disciple said, "Junior brother, no, first brother, this place will be your home from now on." He only spoke 2 words before he realized his mistake. Based on the time Li Qi joined the sect, Li Qi would be his junior. However, because he was a prime disciple, anyone within the 3rd generation, no matter how young or old, would have to call him first brother. Li Qi gave this wily disciple a glance and looked around him before nodding. This peak that's so distant from the rest of the sect is so a suitable location. The disciple smilingly spoke. It's a very fitting name, Lonely Peak. He peeked at Li Qi a few times before continuing. You'll be the master of this peak in the future. Truth was that according to the rules of the sect, the prime disciple had the right to live on the peak closest to the ancestral ground. The sect owned many peaks, and the prime disciple could choose any peak for himself. However, most of the main peaks of the sect were occupied. Moreover, all 6 elders were unhappy with Li Qi. Thus, Li Qi was exiled to this faraway place, away from the main peaks. If something's repeated too many times, like main peaks, peaks, main peak, or many peaks, peak, main peaks, 6 elders, that sort of stuff, if it's repeated many times, I'm just going to say a shortened version of it to make it easier to say. The main peaks located near the ancestral ground contain a thicker worldly essence than the outside mountains and inferior peaks. Li Qi naturally stated, "This place will be just fine." He was not a petty man that would place importance on such trivial matters. I brought over all the daily necessities for first brother earlier. This junior brother thoroughly handled matters with ease and experience. After taking care of all the items necessary for Li Qi's daily needs, he politely said, "If you need anything else, just come to the outer court to find me." Before the disciple departed, Li Qi casually asked, "What is your name?" The disciple was surprised by the sudden question. He did not think highly of Li Qi. His talents were lacking to the point where he would not even be accepted as a regular disciple. Li Qi's actions early in the chamber caused others to feel he was stupid. However, the current Li Qi, who was calm and natural, made this disciple feel perplexed inside. He didn't know whether Li Qi was crazy or if he had thought everything through beforehand. This disciple quickly regained his wits and answered Li Qi. First brother, this junior brother's name is Nan Huairen. I am a caretaker of the outer court. My name is Li Qi. Li Qi gently nodded. In the last million years, the ones who knew his true origin and name could be counted on one's fingers. After Nan Huairen's departure, Li Qi did not sit idle. He began to clean up the yard and tidy up the whole mountain. After completing the task to an acceptable standard, the deserted mountain resembled more of a home. Li Qi did everything in a systematic and neat manner, slow but steady. If any accidental passerbys were to witness his cleaning actions, they wouldn't believe that he's only 13 years old. The sky had darkened by the time the tedious task was complete. Li Qi felt tired and hungry. He slowly sat down in front of the villa, taking in a deep breath. He took out a wooden stick that was placed by his waist. He carefully observed the stick that people used to move ashes. His memories slowly came back to him, causing him to show a bitter smile. The world believed that if an immortal emperor succeeded in shouldering the heaven's will, they would become an immortal. However, if that was the case, were immortal Emperor Minren, Tunri, and all the other peerless cultivators from each era, where did they go? Li Qi slowly regained his composure and removed the dust and ash from the stick, eventually revealing his true form. This was a stick that measured about 1 meter. Even after being doused in fire for thousands of years, it had retained its original form without faults. In the eyes of others, however, this was an ordinary stick, without any magical properties. Li Qi whispered as it gently wiped the wood stick. Certain punishing stick. Yeah. With this wooden stick in his hand, his memories caused him to feel unexplainable emotions. Back in those days, when Minren was without the heaven's will, Li Qi, as the master of this future immortal emperor, had taught a group of children that would be the loyal generals of Minren. Since Li Qi wanted to groom them well, he specifically took the certain punishing stick from the demon forest. Those teenagers stomped the 9 worlds under their feet. Those teenagers that would stomp the 9 worlds under their feet were all victims of the stick. After concluding their training, he left the stick here in ancient cleansing incense ancient sect, and here it has remained until now. Gripping the stick tightly, Li Qi immersed himself even deeper within his memories. Escaping the mortal demon grotto was a success. He finally regained his body and soul from the control of the Dark Crow. However, time was not merciful. Everyone who used to be his friends and family, such as the alchemy god, mortal emperors Zhu Ji and Minren, even the illustrious Black Dragon King that survived 3 eras, had all left this world. Beginning of the desolate era, he was only a young shepherd. In order to find a lost sheep, he went into the grotto and became imprisoned by the immortal demon grotto. He was forced to follow the path his master envisioned in his crow body from era to era. At that moment, Li Qi was very scared. He flew without rest across the forbidden burials, traveling across the 9 lands, across the 9 worlds. In the end, he still had no choice but to return to the immortal demon grotto. However, because of this, he had experienced the countless dangers and mysteries of the worlds. He trod through lands that even an unbeatable virtuous paragon would stay away from. His willpower, basked in hardships through the eras, became unshakable. From then on, he was unwilling to forever stay as a slave of the immortal demon grotto. He formulated a grand plan to cut off all the immortal spiritual seals and formations within his soul. In order to escape the body of the Dark Crow for his freedom and to regain his body, he continuously led many geniuses on the road to cultivation. The greatest of these young ones were able to fight on the peerless roads into the sky to obtain the heaven's will. But today, when Li Qi returned to his old body to become human once again, all of his friends had left him, taking his last deep breath to set aside his pain. Once again strengthened his resolve to destroy all obstacles and shatter the souls of those in the immortal demon grotto. And that's that. That's 3 full chapters from Emperor's Domination. I'm not sure how y'all likes it. I wouldn't know. I'm gonna keep that full screen mode for now. But since I don't know how you guys liked it, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. I particularly enjoyed it, so I don't know. All I can say is, 'twas fun. 'Twas fun indeed. Alright, hope you all have a nice night, day, evening, whatever, I don't care. Well, I kinda do care. I thank you for making it this point in the video, VOD, whatever you want to call it. It's a pain to get here from all the reading, but it felt worth it. I feel like I'm getting more practice. Talking in general, yeah. So, thank you. Have a nice whatever.